Hello, my dear students and seekers of wisdom. Welcome back to another evening of shared dreams and gentle adventures. Tonight, we're climbing the winding stairs to one of Hogwarts' most enchanting sanctuaries, the Ravenclaw Tower, where brilliance meets tranquility and the pursuit of knowledge becomes a pathway to the most peaceful sleep. I've had so many of you asking for a proper Ravenclaw experience, something that captures not just the intelligence and wit of the house, but that deeper sense of wonder and contemplation that makes the tower such a magical place to rest. So here it is. Hopefully, it helps you drift away from the noise of the day and into the gentle embrace of wisdom and dreams. Tonight, we're settling into the cozy circular common room high above the castle grounds, where the night sky becomes your ceiling and the soft rustle of turning pages becomes your lullaby. We'll explore the tower's hidden corners, from the moonlit reading nooks to the stargazing alcoves, all while the gentle sounds of a scholarly evening wrap around you like the softest blanket. Your only concerns tonight are which constellation catches your eye through the tall windows, whether that fascinating book on your nightstand will reveal its secrets in your dreams, and how wonderfully heavy your eyelids feel as the tower's ancient magic works its peaceful spell. If you'd like to support these journeys into the wizarding world, consider leaving a like and comment. But now, find your favorite armchair by the crackling fire. Let the wisdom of ages surround you and prepare for sleep. Let's begin our ascent to the Ravenclaw Tower. The bronze eagle knocker regards you with knowing eyes as you approach the tower entrance. The corridor here is quieter than the rest of the castle, tucked away in the western wing where few students venture after evening meals. Torches flicker along the stone walls, casting dancing shadows that seem to whisper ancient secrets. The air carries the faint scent of parchment and ink mixed with something crisp and clean, like mountain air after rain. You pause before the elegant bronze door, admiring the intricate featherwork etched into the metal. The eagle's head tilts slightly, a magical mechanism so subtle you might miss it if you weren't paying attention. When it speaks, its voice is melodious and thoughtful, nothing like the harsh caw you might expect. I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I live in your mind, yet I'm born from silence. What am I? The eagle asks, its bronze eyes gleaming in the torchlight. You consider the riddle carefully, letting your mind wander through possibilities. The answer comes to you gently, like dawn breaking over a still lake. An echo, you reply softly. The eagle's beak curves in what might be approval, and the door swings open with barely a whisper. You step through into the most beautiful common room in all of Hogwarts. The Ravenclaw common room is a perfect circle, its domed ceiling enchanted to reflect the night sky above the castle. Tonight, the stars are particularly brilliant, scattered like diamonds across deep velvet blue. A few wispy clouds drift lazily past, and you catch the silver trail of a shooting star streaking across the celestial display. The room's tall arched windows offer panoramic views of the Hogwarts grounds, the Forbidden Forest a dark silhouette against the star-studded horizon, and the Black Lake gleaming like polished obsidian in the moonlight. Elegant blue and bronze tapestries hang from the circular walls, depicting famous Ravenclaw alumni and scenes of scholarly achievement. The house colours seem to shimmer and shift in the firelight, creating an almost hypnotic effect that immediately begins to relax your mind. Comfortable armchairs and sofas are arranged in intimate clusters throughout the room, each positioned to take advantage of either the warmth from the marble fireplace or the spectacular views from the windows. But it's the sounds that truly make this space magical. The gentle crackle of logs in the fireplace mingles with the soft whisper of pages, turning as a few dedicated students pursue their evening studies. Someone is practicing a complex charm in the corner, and you hear the faint chime of success followed by a satisfied sigh. Quills scratch against parchment with the rhythm of falling rain, and occasionally a book closes with a gentle thump, followed by the soft footsteps of a student heading to the dormitories. You settle into a plush armchair near one of the tall windows, sinking into cushions that seem to mold perfectly to your body. The fabric is soft velvet in midnight blue, and the chair is positioned just right to let you gaze up at the enchanted ceiling, while still feeling the gentle warmth from the fireplace on your face. A small side table holds a steaming cup of chamomile tea that appeared as if by magic, its delicate floral scent rising on wisps of steam. The view from your chair is breathtaking. Through the window, you can see the castle grounds spread out below like a living map. The greenhouse windows glow softly in the distance, and you imagine Professor Sprout tending to some night-blooming magical plant. The groundskeeper's hut shows a warm light in its windows, smoke curling up from the chimney into the star-filled sky. Even the whomping willow looks peaceful from this height, its branches swaying gently in the evening breeze rather than thrashing about menacingly. A gentle chime draws your attention to the grandfather clock standing near the entrance. It's nearly 10 o'clock, and you watch as a few younger students gather their books and begin making their way toward the spiral staircase that leads to the dormitories. They move quietly, respectfully, their soft conversations about tomorrow's charms essay or the fascinating properties of moonstone creating a gentle murmur that adds to the room's peaceful atmosphere. The fire in the marble fireplace burns with flames of blue and silver, a magical touch that casts the most beautiful light throughout the room. The flames dance hypnotically, never quite settling into a predictable pattern, and you find your eyelids growing heavy as you watch their graceful movements. Occasionally, a log settles deeper into the grate with a soft whisper, sending up a shower of silver sparks that disappear long before they could pose any danger. Near the fireplace, an older student sits cross-legged on a thick carpet, surrounded by star charts and astronomical instruments. She's calculating something complex, her quill moving in precise strokes across a long piece of parchment. Every few minutes, she consults a brass astrolabe, holding it up to catch the firelight and murmuring calculations under her breath. The soft scratch of her mathematical work and the occasional gentle clink of her instruments create a soothing backdrop that reminds you of the deep satisfaction that comes from unraveling a difficult puzzle. Another student has claimed a window seat on the far side of the room, curled up with what appears to be a book of ancient runes. She turns the pages slowly, occasionally pausing to trace a particularly interesting symbol with her finger. The moonlight streams through the window behind her, creating a natural reading light that seems almost too perfect to be coincidental. You suspect the tower's magic adjusts itself to accommodate its studious residents. The enchanted ceiling above continues to shift and change, showing you the real night sky as it progresses through the hours. You spot Orion striding across the heavens, his belt gleaming brightly, and the gentle curve of the Big Dipper pointing toward the North Star. Occasionally, a cloud drifts across the celestial display, soft and grey-white, adding texture and depth to the magical vista above your head. A house elf appears briefly near the fireplace, adding fresh logs with quick, efficient movements before disappearing again without disturbing anyone. The new wood catches with a gentle whoosh, sending up fresh blue and silver flames that dance even more beautifully than before. The additional warmth spreads throughout the room like a gentle embrace, making your chair feel even more comfortable and inviting. You take a sip of the chamomile tea, finding it perfectly temperature and delicately sweetened with just a touch of honey. The warm liquid seems to spread relaxation through your entire body, starting in your chest and radiating outward to your fingertips and toes. The cup itself is beautiful, made of fine porcelain painted with tiny silver stars that seem to twinkle in the firelight. The gentle sounds of the tower continue to weave their spell around you. Pages rustle like autumn leaves, quills scratch with the rhythm of a peaceful rainfall, and the fire whispers its ancient secrets. Someone practices a levitation charm, and you hear the soft whoosh of an object rising through the air, followed by a gentle thump as it settles back down. The student tries again, and this time the object hovers for several long seconds before descending with barely a sound. Through the windows, you can see the lights beginning to dim in other parts of the castle. The Great Hall's windows no longer glow with their dinner-time brilliance, and most of the classroom windows have gone dark. Even the moving staircases seem to be settling into their nighttime positions, their stone steps finding comfortable arrangements for the evening hours. A soft breeze stirs the tapestries along the walls, making them ripple gently like water. The bronze and blue threads catch the firelight and moonlight alternately, creating patterns that shift and flow in mesmerizing ways. One tapestry depicts Rowena Ravenclaw herself, and you could swear you see her painted eyes following the students in the room with benevolent interest, a gentle smile playing at the corners of her mouth. The student with the star charts begins to pack up her work, rolling the parchments carefully and placing her instruments in a velvet-lined box. She moves with quiet precision, every action deliberate and thoughtful. As she passes your chair on her way to the dormitories, she nods politely, her expression serene and satisfied. You sense she solved whatever celestial puzzle she was working on. The scent of old books and parchment grows stronger as the evening progresses, as if the tower itself is settling into sleep and releasing the accumulated wisdom of centuries. It's a comforting smell, rich and deep, that speaks of countless hours spent in pursuit of knowledge and understanding. Mixed with the chamomile from your tea and the faint fragrance of the night air coming through the windows, it creates an olfactory lullaby that makes your eyelids even heavier. Your chair seems to adjust itself subtly, the cushions reshaping to provide even better support for your increasingly relaxed body. The velvet is soft against your skin, and the chair's arms are positioned perfectly for resting your hands. You let your fingers trace the intricate bronze threading along the armrests, feeling the slight texture of the metallic threads woven into the fabric. Above you, the enchanted ceiling continues its slow celestial dance. A meteor streaks across the artificial sky, leaving a brief trail of silver light before disappearing into the darkness. The moon, visible through both the enchanted ceiling and the actual windows, casts everything in a gentle silver glow that makes the entire room feel like something from a fairy tale. The last few students are beginning to make their way toward the dormitory stairs, their quiet conversations fading to whispers, and then to comfortable silence. Books close with soft thumps. Chairs scrape gently against the stone floor as they're pushed back under tables, and footsteps pad softly across the carpeted areas of the common room. You sink deeper into your chair, feeling utterly at peace in this sanctuary of wisdom and tranquility. The Ravenclaw Tower has worked its magic on you, just as it has on countless students over the centuries. Here, surrounded by the gentle sounds of learning and the soft glow of magical flames, with the vast night sky spread above you and the peaceful castle grounds below, you feel your mind beginning to quiet and your body preparing for the most restful sleep. The tower's ancient stones seem to hum with a barely perceptible vibration, a magical frequency that resonates with relaxation and peaceful dreams. This is where brilliance comes to rest, where the pursuit of knowledge transforms into the gentle embrace of sleep, and where the wisdom of ages whispers you toward the sweetest dreams. The remaining students move with the quiet reverence of those who understand they're in a sacred space. A seventh-year prefect extinguishes the reading lamps with gentle waves of her wand, each flame dimming to a soft golden ember before disappearing entirely. The magical light doesn't vanish abruptly but fades gradually, like the last notes of a lullaby trailing off into silence. You watch as she approaches the great circular bookshelf that dominates one wall of the common room. The shelves stretch from floor to ceiling, filled with leather-bound volumes whose spines gleam in the firelight. Ancient texts on arithmancy sit beside collections of magical theory, while books on ancient runes nestle next to treatises on transfiguration. The prefect whispers a quiet charm, and the books seem to settle more comfortably on their shelves, their pages rustling softly like contented sighs. The grandfather clock chimes the half-hour, its bronze pendulum catching the light as it swings in its steady rhythm. The sound is melodious and warm, not the harsh clang you might expect, but something closer to the gentle ring of crystal glasses touched together in a toast. Each chime seems to echo through the tower's stones, creating harmonics that fade slowly into the comfortable silence. Your teacup has somehow refilled itself while you were watching the students depart. The chamomile now blended with hints of lavender and honey that seem to carry the very essence of peaceful sleep. The steam rises in delicate spirals that catch the light from both the fire and the moon streaming through the windows. You breathe in the fragrant steam, feeling your shoulders relax even further as the herbal scents work their gentle magic. Through the tall windows, the view has transformed as the night deepens. The castle grounds below are now painted in shades of silver and deep blue, with long shadows stretching across the courtyards and pathways. The forbidden forest has become a wall of darkness, punctuated by the occasional glimmer of something magical moving between the trees. Perhaps a unicorn picking its way delicately through the undergrowth, or maybe just the reflection of starlight on a dewdrop clinging to a spider's web. The black lake stretches out like a mirror, so perfectly still that it doubles the stars above, creating the illusion that the castle floats suspended between two infinite skies. A gentle ripple disturbs the surface near the far shore, and you catch a glimpse of something large and serpentine breaking the water before disappearing again into the depths. The giant squid, perhaps, stretching its tentacles in a sleepy gesture before settling back into whatever dreams occupy the minds of ancient lake dwellers. The fire in the marble hearth has settled into a steady, hypnotic rhythm. The blue and silver flames dance in patterns that seem almost choreographed, rising and falling in waves that match your own breathing. Occasionally a spark drifts upward, glowing brightly for a moment before winking out of existence like a tiny shooting star. The logs have burned down to glowing coals that pulse gently with inner light, radiating warmth that seems to seep into your very bones. Above you, the enchanted ceiling continues its celestial performance. The moon has moved visibly across the sky since you first sat down, and new constellations have wheeled into view. You spot Cassiopeia's distinctive W shape and the graceful curve of Draco winding between the brighter stars. A thin wisp of cloud drifts across the moon's face, softening its light and casting everything in an even more dreamlike glow. The last prefect makes her rounds, checking that all the studying areas are tidy and that no books have been left out to gather dust overnight. She moves like a ghost, her footsteps silent on the thick carpets and barely audible on the stone floors. When she passes your chair, she pauses to smile warmly. recognizing perhaps that you're not quite ready to climb the spiral stairs to the dormitories. She whispers a gentle warming charm over your blanket and continues on her way. The common room's magical atmosphere seems to intensify as true quiet settles over the space. The very walls appear to breathe with centuries of accumulated wisdom, and you can almost feel the presence of all the brilliant minds that have found solace in this circular sanctuary. The bronze fixtures seem to gleam more softly, and the blue tapestries shift and shimmer as if touched by unfelt breezes. A barn owl taps gently at one of the windows, its feathers ruffled by the night wind. It perches on the sill for a moment, golden eyes reflecting the firelight, before spreading its wings and disappearing into the darkness. The sight reminds you of all the letters and packages that travel between the castle and the wider world, carrying news and love across the miles while you rest safely in this tower of learning. The astrolabe left behind by the earlier student catches your eye, its brass surface gleaming in the firelight. The intricate mechanical device seems almost alive in the dancing light, its various rings and pointers creating complex shadows on the nearby table. You imagine the countless calculations it has helped with over the years, mapping the movements of celestial bodies and unlocking the secrets of the night sky. Your breathing has naturally synchronized with the gentle rhythm of the flames, deep and slow and wonderfully relaxed. Each exhale seems to release a bit more of the day's tensions, while each inhale draws in the tower's peaceful magic. The velvet chair embraces you like a gentle hug, and the soft blanket that appeared sometime during the evening wraps around your shoulders with perfect warmth. The scent of the night air drifting through the windows carries hints of the approaching autumn. There's the crisp promise of changing leaves, the earthy smell of dew forming on the grass, and something indefinably magical that might be the castle's protective enchantments settling into their nighttime patterns. It mingles beautifully with the chamomile and lavender from your tea, creating an aromatic symphony that seems designed specifically to encourage the most peaceful sleep. A gentle breeze stirs the curtains at the windows, causing them to billow softly inward before settling back into place. The movement creates subtle shifts in the light patterns dancing across the room, adding another layer to the hypnotic display already provided by the flames and the moving shadows of the tapestries. The tower's magic seems to pulse gently around you, a rhythm as old as the castle itself and as comforting as a parent's lullaby. It's the accumulated wisdom of centuries of Ravenclaw students, all their late-night studying sessions and brilliant discoveries somehow distilled into this perfect atmosphere of learning and rest. The very stones seem to whisper encouragement for sweet dreams, filled with the kind of insights that come only when the conscious mind finally quiets and allows deeper understanding to emerge. Through the windows, you can see that even the moving staircases have found their resting positions for the night, their stone steps settling into comfortable arrangements that will remain stable until morning. The castle itself seems to be preparing for sleep, its magical systems shifting into nighttime modes that prioritize rest and restoration over the bustling activity of the school day. The grandfather clock ticks steadily in the corner, its pendulum catching the light with each swing. The sound is profoundly comforting, a reminder that time flows peacefully here in the tower, unmarked by urgency or stress. Each tick seems to say that there's no need to hurry, no pressure to achieve anything more than the simple pleasure of existing in this moment of perfect tranquility. Your eyelids are growing wonderfully heavy now, weighted down by the tower's peaceful magic and the accumulated comfort of this perfect evening. The sounds around you have become a gentle symphony of rest. The soft whisper of the flames, the barely audible tick of the clock, the gentle sigh of the night wind at the windows, and the almost subliminal hum of the castle's protective enchantments. The Ravenclaw Tower has worked its spell completely now, transforming you from a visitor into a temporary resident of this sanctuary of wisdom and dreams. Here, surrounded by the gentle blue and bronze colours of the house, warmed by magical flames and comforted by centuries of accumulated learning, you feel your mind beginning to drift toward the kind of sleep that brings the most wonderful dreams. The enchanted ceiling above shifts almost imperceptibly, the constellations wheeling in their ancient dance as the night deepens. You notice Polaris, the North Star, holding its steady position while all the other celestial bodies rotate around it like dancers in a cosmic ballroom. The sight fills you with a profound sense of stability and continuance, as if you're witnessing something eternal and unchanging in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. A soft rustling draws your attention to the circular bookshelf, where the volumes seem to be settling themselves more comfortably for the night. The leather bindings creak gently, like old friends stretching after a long day, and you catch glimpses of golden letters on spines that seem to shimmer with their own inner light. These are books that have absorbed decades of careful study, their pages filled not just with words but with the dreams and aspirations of countless Ravenclaw students who sought wisdom within their covers. The warmth from your teacup spreads through your hands as you cradle it, the porcelain smooth and perfectly heated against your palms. The chamomile and lavender blend has deepened in flavour, becoming richer and more complex as it cools slightly. Each sip seems to carry whispers of the herb's origins, perhaps grown in the castle's own gardens under the careful attention of Professor Sprout, harvested at just the right moment when their magical properties were at their peak. Through the tall, arched windows, you can see the first hints of mist beginning to form over the Black Lake. It rises in gossamer threads that catch the moonlight, creating an ethereal veil that transforms the familiar landscape into something from a fairy tale. The mist moves with its own mysterious purpose, sometimes thick enough to obscure the far shore entirely, sometimes thinning to reveal glimpses of the water's dark surface beneath. The fire in the marble hearth has burned down to a bed of glowing coals that pulse with hypnotic rhythm. The blue and silver flames have given way to deeper hues, purples and indigos that dance with the cosmic colours reflected in the enchanted ceiling above. Occasionally, a coal shifts with a gentle whisper, sending up a small shower of sparks that wink out long before they could disturb the peaceful atmosphere of the room. Your chair seems to have moulded itself even more perfectly to your body, the velvet cushions adjusting with subtle magic to provide exactly the right support for your increasingly relaxed posture. The bronze threading along the arms catches the firelight in tiny gleams, creating patterns that shift and change as the flames move. You run your fingers along these metallic threads, feeling their slight warmth and the intricate craftsmanship that went into their creation. The grandfather clock's pendulum continues its steady swing, each movement catching different aspects of the room's gentle illumination. Sometimes it reflects the fire's glow, sometimes the moonlight from the windows, and sometimes the starlight filtering down from the enchanted ceiling. The clock's face shows nearly 11 o'clock, but time seems to have lost its urgency here in the tower's peaceful embrace. A gentle draft stirs through the room, not cold but refreshing, carrying with it the mixed scents of the night. There's the clean smell of mountain air, the green fragrance of grass heavy with dew, and something indefinably magical that might be the essence of the protective charms that keep Hogwarts safe through the dark hours. This magical breeze seems to circulate deliberately, ensuring that every corner of the common room remains fresh and comfortable. The tapestries along the curved walls continue their subtle movements, the woven figures seeming to shift positions when you're not looking directly at them. In one, A medieval scholar raises his head from his books to glance around the room before returning to his studies. In another, a phoenix spreads its wings in a gesture of eternal renewal before settling back into its decorative pose. These small movements add life to the room without disturbing its essential tranquility. Above you, a shooting star traces a brilliant path across the enchanted sky, its tail lingering for several seconds before fading into memory. The sight fills you with a sense of wonder and possibility, reminding you that even in moments of perfect peace, the universe continues its grand dance of creation and transformation. You make a silent wish, as humans have done for countless generations when blessed with such celestial gifts. The last embers in the fireplace glow like tiny suns, their light warm and steady. The marble surround reflects this gentle radiance, its white surface taking on hints of gold and rose that complement the room's blue and bronze color scheme. The fire screen, wrought in delicate bronze scrollwork, casts intricate shadows that move and shift with each flicker of the remaining flames. Your breathing has become deep and regular, synchronized not just with the fire's rhythm, but with something deeper, the very heartbeat of the castle itself. Each breath brings in more of the tower's peaceful energy, while each exhale releases whatever tensions or worries might still be clinging to your consciousness. The process feels natural and effortless, as if your body has remembered an ancient rhythm of rest and restoration. The moonlight streaming through the windows has intensified as the night progresses, creating pools of silver light on the stone floor that seem to ripple like water when clouds pass across the moon's face. These patches of illumination shift and change, creating a gentle light show that complements the steady glow from the fireplace. The interplay between moonlight and firelight transforms the circular room into a softly luminous sanctuary. A distant sound drifts up from the castle below, perhaps the gentle closing of a door or the whispered conversation of night shift house elves going about their quiet work. These faint reminders of life continuing elsewhere in the castle only serve to emphasize how perfectly peaceful your current refuge has become. The tower exists in its own bubble of tranquility, separate from but connected to the larger magical community below. The velvet curtains at the windows stir gently in the night breeze, their deep blue fabric catching and releasing the light in waves. The movement is hypnotic and soothing, adding another layer to the room's natural rhythm. You notice how the curtain's color deepens to nearly black in the shadows before brightening to rich sapphire where the light touches them directly. Your teacup has somehow refilled itself once again, the chamomile now blended with what might be a touch of valerian and perhaps a hint of passion flower, herbs known for their ability to encourage the most peaceful sleep. The steam rises in lazy spirals that seem to carry your thoughts upward, dissolving them into the gentle atmosphere of the tower until your mind feels as clear and calm as the surface of an undisturbed lake. The brass astrolabe left on the nearby table catches your attention once more, its intricate mechanisms seeming to move almost imperceptibly in the firelight. You imagine it calculating the positions of celestial bodies with mathematical precision, its brass rings representing the complex dance of planets and stars that governs the magical world's understanding of fate and fortune. The device seems to pulse with its own quiet magic, a reminder of the deep connections between earthly learning and cosmic wisdom. Through the windows, the mist over the Black Lake has thickened, creating a dreamlike landscape that seems to exist somewhere between the real world and the realm of sleep. Shapes move within the mist, perhaps water sprites or simply the play of moonlight on vapor, but they add an element of gentle mystery to the view that makes your eyelids feel even heavier. The common room's circular architecture seems designed to promote the kind of contemplative peace you're experiencing. There are no sharp corners to catch your attention, no harsh angles to disturb the gentle flow of energy through the space. Everything curves and flows, from the domed ceiling to the rounded archways of the windows, creating an environment that naturally encourages rest and reflection. A soft chime from the grandfather clock marks the 3/4 hour, its bronze voice resonating through the tower's stones with harmonic overtones that seem to linger in the air long after the sound itself has faded. The chime seems to signal a deepening of the night's magic, as if the castle's protective enchantments are settling into their most powerful configuration for the dark hours ahead. The remaining coals in the fireplace have arranged themselves into a perfect bed of glowing warmth, their light steady and reassuring. The heat they radiate seems to carry with it the accumulated comfort of all the fires that have burned in this hearth over the centuries, warming countless Ravenclaw students as they pursued their studies late into the night, or simply sat quietly contemplating the mysteries of magic and life. Your chair has become the perfect nest of comfort, the velvet fabric soft against your skin, and the cushions supporting your body with gentle firmness. The bronze threading seems to pulse faintly with its own warmth, as if the metal itself has absorbed some of the tower's peaceful magic. You settle deeper into this embrace, feeling utterly safe and wonderfully drowsy. The enchanted ceiling above continues its slow celestial dance, but now the stars seem softer, their light gentle rather than brilliant. The moon has moved across a good portion of the sky, its silver radiance painting everything in the room with the soft glow of approaching dreams. A wisp of cloud drifts across its face, creating shadows that move like gentle fingers across the walls and floor. The scent of lavender has grown stronger in the air, perhaps released by the warming stones of the tower or carried on the night breeze through the windows. It mingles perfectly with the chamomile from your tea and the faint fragrance of old parchment and leather from the books, creating an olfactory lullaby that seems designed specifically to encourage the deepest, most restful sleep. Your eyelids have become deliciously heavy, weighted with the accumulated peace of this perfect evening in the Ravenclaw Tower. The gentle sounds around you, the soft light from fire and moon and stars, the comfortable embrace of your chair, and the tower's ancient magic all combine to create an irresistible invitation to let go of consciousness and drift into the realm of dreams. The Ravenclaw Tower has worked its most profound spell, transforming not just your surroundings, but your very state of being. Here, in this circular sanctuary of wisdom and tranquility, surrounded by centuries of accumulated learning and bathed in the gentle light of magical flames and celestial bodies, you feel your mind beginning its final descent into the soft darkness of sleep, where the wisest dreams await. The darkness beyond the windows seems to pulse with its own gentle rhythm, as if the night itself is breathing slowly and peacefully. You notice how the shadows cast by the window frames create intricate patterns on the floor, geometric shapes that shift subtly as the moon continues its ancient journey across the sky. These patterns remind you of the complex magical formulae you've seen scratched in the margins of advanced arithmancy textbooks. But here they serve no purpose beyond beauty and the gentle hypnosis of repetitive form. A house elf appears briefly in the doorway, its large eyes scanning the common room with quiet satisfaction before it retreats back into the castle's hidden passages. The creature moves with the practiced silence of those who work while others sleep, ensuring that the tower remains perfectly maintained without disturbing the peaceful atmosphere. You catch just a glimpse of its neat uniform and the small brass badge that marks it as one of the castle's dedicated staff, working tirelessly to maintain the magic that makes Hogwarts feel like home. The grandfather clock's pendulum has found a rhythm that seems to match your heartbeat exactly. creating a sense of perfect synchronization between your body and the tower's ancient timekeeping. Each swing catches different fragments of light, sometimes the warm glow from the dying fire, sometimes the cool silver of moonbeams, sometimes the subtle radiance that seems to emanate from the very stones of the castle walls. The clock face shows that midnight approaches, but time has lost all urgency in this sanctuary of peaceful learning. Your teacup rests warm in your hands, the chamomile blend now enhanced with what might be a touch of mugwort and dried moonflower petals. Herbs that the most accomplished potion masters know can bridge the gap between waking thought and the deeper wisdom that comes only in dreams. The liquid seems to carry starlight within it, tiny sparkles that dance on the surface before disappearing when you try to focus on them directly. Each sip draws you further from the concerns of the day and deeper into the tower's embrace. The circular bookshelf continues its subtle nighttime settling, leather bindings creaking softly as ancient tomes adjust themselves on their shelves. You can almost hear the whispered conversations between volumes, sharing secrets accumulated over centuries of study. A particularly old book, bound in midnight blue leather, seems to glow faintly, its silver clasps catching the firelight. Perhaps it contains the collected dreams of former Ravenclaw students, their sleeping minds having contributed to its pages over the decades. Through the tall windows, the mist over the Black Lake has begun to take on shapes that seem almost intentional. Wisps curl into spirals that remind you of the Celtic knots carved into some of the older sections of the castle, while other formations stretch upward, like reaching fingers or the ghostly outline of wings. The effect is mesmerizing, nature and magic collaborating to create art that exists only for this moment, visible only to those awake to witness its ephemeral beauty. The fire in final configuration the marble hearth has settled, the coals arranged in a pattern that seems to mirror the constellation of stars visible through the enchanted ceiling. Each glowing ember pulses with gentle warmth, their combined light creating a soft aurora of gold and rose that dances across the curved walls. The heat they generate feels alive somehow, as if it carries within it the accumulated comfort of every student who has ever found solace beside this particular fire. A gentle draft moves through the room, not cold enough to disturb, but refreshing enough to keep the air from becoming stale. It carries with it the mingled scents of the night, the clean smell of dew forming on grass, the rich earthiness of the forbidden forest, and something indefinably magical that might be the essence of the protective charms that have kept this tower safe for over 1,000 years. The breeze seems to circulate with purpose, as if the castle itself is breathing slowly and deeply. The bronze fixtures throughout the room have taken on an almost living quality in the gentle light, their surfaces seeming to shift and flow like liquid metal. The doorknocker's eagle head appears to drowse peacefully, its bronze eyelids heavy with the same contentment that fills every corner of the common room. Even the coat of arms worked into the tapestry seems softer now, the proud raven appearing to rest its wings as night deepens around the tower. Above you, the enchanted ceiling has begun to show the deeper constellations of midnight, star patterns that only become visible when the night reaches its fullest darkness. Andromeda stretches across the celestial dome, her story of transformation and redemption written in points of light that have guided travelers for millennia. Perseus stands nearby, his legendary sword gleaming with stellar fire, while the great square of Pegasus gallops silently across the artificial sky. Your chair seems to pulse gently with warmth, as if it has absorbed not just the heat from the fireplace, but something deeper, the accumulated comfort of every student who has ever sat here during late-night study sessions or quiet moments of contemplation. The velvet fabric has become impossibly soft against your skin, and the bronze threading feels warm to the touch, as if it conducts not electricity, but the tower's essential magic directly to your fingertips. The astrolabe on the nearby table catches your attention once more, its brass mechanisms seeming to move with purpose despite the absence of any visible hand to guide them. The device appears to be calculating something complex, perhaps mapping the precise moment when the night reaches its perfect depth, when the boundary between waking and sleeping becomes most permeable. Its gentle clicking provides another layer to the room's symphony of peaceful sounds. A barn owl settles on the windowsill outside, its feathers ruffled by the night breeze. It regards you through the glass with golden eyes that seem to hold ancient wisdom, perhaps recognizing in you another seeker of knowledge who has found refuge in this tower of learning. The owl's presence feels like a blessing, a sign that you have truly been accepted into the magical ecosystem that surrounds Hogwarts, like an invisible embrace. The mist over the Black Lake has begun to thin in some places while thickening in others, creating a constantly shifting landscape that seems to exist in a realm between dreams and reality. Shapes emerge and dissolve within the vapor, sometimes suggesting familiar forms like sailing ships or flying creatures, sometimes creating abstract patterns that speak to some deeper part of your mind, the part that understands beauty without needing to categorize or name it. Your breathing has synchronized not just with the fire's rhythm, but with something even deeper, the ancient pulse of the castle itself. Each inhale draws in more of the tower's accumulated wisdom, while each exhale releases whatever fragments of daily stress or concern might still cling to your consciousness. The process feels as natural as the tide, as inevitable as the turning of the seasons, connecting you to rhythms that have governed life since magic first stirred in the world. The grandfather clock's face has taken on an almost hypnotic quality, its brass hands moving so slowly they seem stationary, yet somehow you're aware of time's gentle passage. The Roman numerals around the edge catch and release the light from various sources throughout the room, creating tiny sparkles that draw your gaze without demanding your attention. The clock seems to exist in its own temporal bubble, measuring not minutes and hours, but the deeper rhythms of rest and renewal. The remaining students' books lie closed on nearby tables, their leather covers gleaming softly in the mixed light of fire and moon. These volumes seem to rest peacefully, as if they too are dreaming, their pages full of knowledge settling and rearranging itself in preparation for tomorrow's lessons. You imagine the words on those pages shifting slightly in their sleep, finding new arrangements that will reveal fresh insights to readers who approach them with rested minds. A gentle warmth spreads through your body, starting from the teacup in your hands and radiating outward until every muscle feels loose and relaxed. This is more than simple physical comfort. It's the deeper warmth that comes from being exactly where you belong, surrounded by exactly the right combination of beauty, peace, and gentle magic. Your shoulders settle even further into the chair's embrace, and your head finds the perfect angle against the high back. The enchanted ceiling shows a shooting star streaking across the midnight sky, its tail lingering long enough for you to follow its entire arc from horizon to horizon. The sight fills you with a profound sense of connection to the vast cosmos beyond the castle walls, a reminder that even in this intimate sanctuary of learning, you remain part of something infinitely larger and more mysterious than any single mind can comprehend. The fire's remaining coals have arranged themselves into what might be a runic pattern, their glowing forms suggesting ancient symbols whose meaning hovers just beyond conscious understanding. Perhaps this is how the tower communicates with those who spend enough quiet time within its walls, through subtle signs and gentle suggestions that speak directly to the intuitive mind. The pattern seems to pulse with significance, though its message remains tantalizingly just out of reach. Through the windows, you can see the first hints of frost beginning to form on the grass below, each blade outlined in crystalline silver that catches the moonlight like tiny mirrors. The sight reminds you of the approaching winter, but here in the tower's warm embrace, the cold seems not threatening, but simply another aspect of nature's endless cycle of change and renewal. The frost creates intricate patterns that rival the most complex magical formulae for sheer beauty and mathematical precision. Your eyelids have become so wonderfully heavy that keeping them open requires conscious effort, and that effort seems less and less worthwhile with each passing moment. The tower's magic has done its work thoroughly and body into the transforming your min perfect vessels for the deepest, most restful sleep. Every sight, sound, and sensation in the room conspires to encourage your final surrender to the peaceful darkness that waits just beyond consciousness. The bronze eagle on the door seems to have settled into sleep itself, its metallic form somehow conveying the same sense of peaceful rest that fills every other corner of the common room. Even the magical mechanisms that govern the tower's security appear to drowse, trusting in the deeper protections that surround Hogwarts like invisible armor. The entire tower feels like a living thing preparing for sleep, its ancient stones settling into the rhythm of night. A soft breeze stirs the curtains one final time, bringing with it the scent of approaching dreams. It carries hints of all the magical herbs that grow in the castle's gardens: lavender and valerian, chamomile and moonflower, their combined essence creating an aromatic lullaby that seems designed by nature herself to encourage the most peaceful slumber. The fragrance seems to settle around you like a blanket woven from the very essence of tranquility. The Ravenclaw Tower has completed its ancient ritual, transforming another seeker of knowledge from a visitor into a temporary inhabitant of this sanctuary of wisdom and dreams. Here, surrounded by centuries of accumulated learning and bathed in the gentle radiance of magical flames and celestial light, you feel your consciousness beginning its final descent into the soft darkness where the wisest dreams await, where insights bloom like flowers in a garden tended by sleep itself, where the deepest mysteries reveal themselves to minds freed from the constraints of waking thought. Your breathing grows deeper and more regular, each exhale carrying you further from the day's concerns and closer to the realm where knowledge transforms into wisdom, where learning becomes understanding, and where the gentle magic of the Ravenclaw Tower guides your sleeping mind toward dreams filled with all the wonder and possibility that drew you to this place of learning in the first place. The tower's final gift is the promise that when you wake, whether in dreams or in the morning light that will eventually stream through these same windows, you will carry with you something of its essential magic, a deeper appreciation for the beauty of learning and the profound peace that comes from surrendering to wisdom's gentle embrace. The last wisps of consciousness drift away like morning mist over the lake, leaving you suspended in that perfect liminal space between waking and sleeping. The Ravenclaw Tower holds you gently in its ancient embrace, your chair having become less furniture than cocoon, wrapping you in velvet softness and bronze-threaded warmth that seems to pulse with the very heartbeat of the castle itself. The enchanted ceiling above has shifted into its deepest night configuration, showing constellations that only emerge in the darkest hours before dawn. The great bear lumber across the celestial dome, while the swan spreads ethereal wings among clusters of stars so distant their light began its journey centuries before Hogwarts was even conceived. These stellar patterns seem to rotate with hypnotic slowness, creating a gentle cosmic rhythm that guides your breathing into ever deeper, more peaceful cadences. Your teacup has somehow refilled itself one final time, the chamomile now blended with what might be essence of silver unicorn horn and powdered moonstone, ingredients so rare and magical that they exist more as whispered possibilities than actual substances. The liquid within seems to capture and hold fragments of starlight, tiny points of luminescence that dance across the surface before dissolving into the brew's depths. Each sip carries you further from the solid world of stone and mortar into something more ethereal, more connected to the tower's essential magic. The fire in the marble hearth has burned down to its most perfect state, a bed of coals so evenly distributed and gently glowing that they seem less like burned wood than captured sunset, each ember pulsing with the rhythm of sleeping dragons far below the castle's foundations. The warmth they generate no longer feels like simple heat, but like liquid comfort, flowing through the air in invisible rivers that carry with them the accumulated peace of every student who has ever found solace in this circular sanctuary. Through the tall windows, the grounds below have transformed into something from the most beautiful dream. The frost that began forming on the grass has spread and deepened, creating crystalline patterns that catch and scatter the moonlight into thousands of tiny rainbows. Each blade of grass wears a coat of diamond dust, and the pathways gleam like rivers of silver winding between buildings that seem carved from pure shadow and starlight. Even the whomping willow stands motionless, its branches heavy with ice that transforms its usually threatening form into something delicate and beautiful. The mist over the Black Lake has thickened into something almost substantial, creating landscapes that shift and change with each gentle breath of wind. Islands of vapor rise and fall like the backs of sleeping whales, while wisps curl upward in spirals that seem to carry messages written in a language older than words. The lake's surface, visible in patches between the mist, reflects not just the stars above, but something deeper, as if the water holds memories of every midnight that has ever touched its shores. A gentle chime from the grandfather clock marks the stroke of midnight, but the sound seems to come from very far away, as if it's traveling through layers of soft cotton or whispering through the pages of ancient books. The bronze pendulum continues its eternal swing, but now each movement seems to mark not seconds but heartbeats, not minutes but breaths, measuring time in the deeper rhythms that govern sleep and dreams, and the gentle magic that connects all living things. The circular bookshelf has settled into complete stillness, its volumes arranged in perfect harmony along the curved wall. But if you look carefully, you might notice that some of the book spines seem to glow faintly from within, as if the knowledge contained in their pages has reached some critical mass and begun generating its own soft light. These subtle illuminations create patterns along the shelves, constellations of wisdom that mirror the stars visible through the enchanted ceiling above. Your chair has achieved perfect temperature and softness, the velvet fabric now feeling less like textile than like solidified comfort, supporting your increasingly relaxed body with the kind of precision that only comes from centuries of magical refinement. The bronze threading seems to conduct not just heat, but something more essential, perhaps the very essence of scholarly contentment that has accumulated in this tower over the generations. You sink deeper into this embrace, feeling your physical form becoming lighter with each breath. The astrolabe on the nearby table has finally completed whatever complex calculation it was performing. Its brass rings now perfectly aligned in a configuration that seems to capture and focus the room's magical energies. The device pulses gently with inner light, and you sense that it has somehow synchronized with the deeper rhythms of the castle, becoming a kind of magical compass that points not toward magnetic north, but toward the perfect center of peaceful sleep. A family of bats flickers past the windows, their wings catching moonbeams as they navigate the night sky with the kind of effortless precision that comes from perfect attunement to the magical currents that flow around Hogwarts like invisible rivers. Their flight patterns create temporary shadows on the window glass, brief interruptions in the silver light that add another layer of gentle movement to the room's hypnotic atmosphere. The scent in the air has evolved throughout the evening, beginning with simple chamomile and lavender, but now carrying notes of something far more complex and magical. There are hints of ingredients that exist only in the most advanced potion-making texts, essences that can only be gathered during specific lunar phases or distilled from morning dew collected on the petals of flowers that bloom just once every 7 years. This aromatic symphony seems designed by the castle itself to encourage the deepest possible rest. Your breathing has become so synchronized with the tower's ambient magic that you're no longer sure where your own life force ends and the building's ancient energy begins. Each inhalation draws in centuries of accumulated wisdom, while each exhalation releases whatever small tensions or concerns might still be clinging to your consciousness like stubborn shadows. The process feels as natural and inevitable as the tide, connecting you to rhythms that predate human civilization. The grandfather clock's face has taken on an otherworldly quality, its brass hands moving so slowly they seem frozen in time. Yet somehow you remain aware of the gentle passage of moments. The Roman numerals around the edge appear to shift and rearrange themselves when you're not looking directly at them, perhaps spelling out messages in Latin phrases that speak of rest and renewal, of the sacred relationship between learning and dreaming, of the ancient compact between seekers of knowledge and the peaceful darkness that makes wisdom possible. Through the windows, you can see that snow has begun to fall, the first flakes of winter drifting down like tiny stars seeking Earth. They catch the light from the tower's windows as they pass, each one briefly illuminated before disappearing into the darkness below. The sight fills you with profound tranquility, a reminder that even in the midst of change and transition, there are constants, eternal rhythms that govern both the natural world and the magical realm that overlays it like a second sky. The remaining books on nearby tables seem to have arranged themselves into more comfortable positions, their leather covers adjusting slightly as if they too are settling in for the night. You imagine the words on their pages shifting and realigning in the darkness, finding new patterns that will reveal fresh insights to tomorrow's readers. Knowledge, you realize, is not static but living, growing and changing even as it rests, developing new connections and deeper meanings in the fertile darkness of night. A warmth spreads through your entire being, starting from the core of your chest and radiating outward until every cell in your body feels bathed in liquid comfort. This is the tower's final gift, the complete integration of your consciousness with its ancient magic, the transformation from visitor to temporary resident of this sanctuary of learning and dreams. Your muscles release their last traces of tension, your mind lets go of its final concerns, and your spirit prepares for the journey into sleep. The enchanted ceiling shows a meteor shower now, dozens of shooting stars streaking across the midnight sky in synchronized patterns that seem choreographed by cosmic intelligence. The display is breathtakingly beautiful, a reminder that the universe itself is engaged in constant creation, constant renewal, constant magic that extends far beyond human understanding. Each meteor seems to carry a wish, a hope, a dream towards some distant fulfillment. The fire's coals have arranged themselves into what can only be described as a mandala, a perfect circular pattern that seems to pulse with significance just beyond conscious comprehension. The design shifts subtly as you watch, the glowing embers rearranging themselves in response to some invisible directive, creating new patterns that speak to the part of your mind that understands beauty without needing to analyze or categorize it. Your eyelids have become so heavy that the effort of keeping them open feels not just unnecessary, but actively counterproductive. The tower's magic has completed its work, transforming every aspect of your being into the perfect vessel for the deepest, most restorative sleep possible. The darkness behind your closed eyes is not empty, but full, pregnant with possibility, rich with the promise of dreams that will carry forward the evening's magic into realms beyond conscious thought. The bronze eagle on the door has definitely settled into slumber now, its metallic form somehow conveying complete peace and security. Even the magical locks and protective enchantments that guard the tower seem to drowse, trusting in the deeper protections that surround Hogwarts, like layers of invisible armor, woven from centuries of accumulated love and dedication. The entire castle feels like a living thing preparing for rest, its consciousness settling into the gentle rhythms of night. A final breeze moves through the room, carrying with it the essence of everything magical about this place, the accumulated wisdom of generations of Ravenclaw students, the patient dedication of countless teachers, the eternal quest for knowledge that has driven seekers to this tower for over 1,000 years. The air itself seems alive with possibility, charged with the kind of potential that exists only in places where learning and magic have become so intertwined they're indistinguishable. The last conscious thought that drifts through your mind before sleep claims you completely is a profound sense of gratitude, not just for this evening of perfect peace, but for the entire magical world that has opened its arms to welcome you. You're grateful for the tower's ancient stones, for the enchanted ceiling that mirrors the infinite sky, for the gentle fire that has warmed countless students through countless nights of study and contemplation. You're grateful for the books that hold centuries of accumulated wisdom, for the comfortable chair that has embraced you so perfectly, for the magical tea that has carried you gently towards sleep's threshold. Most of all, you're grateful for the sense of belonging that has settled over you like the softest blanket. The feeling that you are exactly where you need to be, surrounded by exactly the right combination of magic and learning and peaceful beauty. The Ravenclaw Tower completes its ancient ritual of transformation, having changed you from a simple visitor into something more, a temporary guardian of its accumulated wisdom, a beneficiary of its magical peace, a dreamer who will carry forward its gifts into the realm of sleep, where the deepest learning occurs. Here, in this circular sanctuary, suspended between earth and sky, between knowledge and wisdom, between waking and dreaming, you surrender completely to the gentle darkness that promises consciousness, dissolve toward the place where dreams are with its passage. As you drift down through layers of increasingly peaceful darkness, the most wonderful dreams. Yours like sugar's magic will guide in warm tea, sweetening the nightborn, where the tower your sleeping mind through landscapes of pure wonder, where every breath draws you deeper into rest, and every heartbeat carries you further toward the perfect sleep that only comes to those who have found true sanctuary in the magical world. The snow continues to fall outside the windows, each flake a tiny blessing drifting down from the star-filled sky, while inside the tower, wrapped in centuries of accumulated learning and bathed in the gentle glow of magical flames and celestial light, you sleep the sleep of those who have found their way home to wisdom's heart, where dreams bloom like flowers in a garden tended by magic itself, where rest becomes renewal and peace becomes power, and the gentle rhythm of your breathing joins the eternal song that keeps the magical world turning through the long, beautiful night. The tower's ancient magic weaves itself into your dreams as they begin to unfold, painting scenes of impossible beauty across the canvas of your sleeping mind. You find yourself walking through corridors made entirely of crystallized moonlight, where the walls shimmer and pulse with gentle luminescence that responds to your footsteps. Books float freely through these ethereal hallways, their pages fluttering like wings as they carry whispered secrets from one dreaming scholar to another. In this realm of sleep, the boundary between knowledge and experience dissolves completely. You reach out to touch a passing tome and suddenly find yourself living within its pages, experiencing the joy of a medieval alchemist as he finally perfects a formula for liquid starlight, feeling the satisfaction of an ancient astronomer as she charts a previously undiscovered constellation, sharing the wonder of a young witch as she successfully brews her first perfect batch of dream-catching potion. The dream corridors lead you to a vast library that exists only in sleep, its shelves stretching impossibly high and filled with books that write themselves as you watch. The knowledge contained within these volumes shifts and changes based on the needs of each dreamer who visits, ensuring that everyone who enters this nocturnal sanctuary finds exactly the wisdom they require. You pull a volume from the shelf and discover it contains the story of your own evening in the tower, but written as an epic poem in a language you've never seen, yet somehow understand perfectly. A gentle hand touches your shoulder, and you turn to find yourself face to face with Rowena Ravenclaw herself, though she appears not as the stern founder from the portraits, but as a kindly grandmother figure whose eyes sparkle with infinite patience and understanding. She gestures toward a circular reading room where other dreamers sit in comfortable chairs, each absorbed in their own perfect book, each surrounded by the soft glow that comes from minds fully engaged with beautiful ideas. "Welcome, dear seeker," she says, her voice carrying the music of wind chimes and distant thunder. Here in the realm of sleeping wisdom, all knowledge belongs to everyone, and every question finds its answer not through struggle, but through the gentle patience of an open heart. What would you like to learn tonight? But even as the question forms in your mind, you realize that learning in dreams follows different rules than waking study. Here, understanding flows like honey, sweet and golden and impossible to force. You simply need to be present, to remain open, and let the tower's accumulated wisdom settle into your consciousness like snow filling a waiting valley. The process requires no effort, only trust in the magic that has guided countless dreamers before you. The Dream Ravenclaw leads you to a window that looks out not upon the castle grounds but upon the entire history of magical learning. You watch as ancient druids gather around sacred groves, their knowledge passed down through songs that carry the very essence of growing things. You see medieval scholars hunched over illuminated manuscripts, their quills scratching out formulae that bridge the gap between earthly craft and celestial mystery. Time flows differently here, and you witness the founding of Hogwarts itself, watching as four friends with a shared vision carve a sanctuary for learning from the raw Scottish Highlands. You see the first students arriving at the castle, their faces bright with the same wonder you felt upon entering the magical world. You watch as generations of Ravenclaws discover their own perfect corners within the tower, each finding their own path to wisdom through the patient accumulation of beautiful knowledge. The dream shifts, and suddenly you're standing in your own perfect study, a room that exists only in your sleeping imagination, but feels more real than any waking space you've ever inhabited. The walls are lined with books that contain everything you've ever wanted to know, organized not alphabetically, but by the emotional resonance they hold for your seeking mind. A desk sits by the window, its surface holding quills that write with liquid starlight and parchment made from pressed flower petals that release their fragrance as you work. This dreaming study overlooks a garden where every plant represents a different field of knowledge. Arithmetic flowers bloom in perfect geometric patterns, their petals inscribed with equations that solve themselves when touched by morning dew. History trees grow in chronological rows, their leaves showing glimpses of important moments from the past when the light strikes them just right. Magical creature topiaries move with gentle life, demonstrating the behaviors and habitats they represent in miniature tableau of impossible charm. You settle into the dream study's perfect chair, and immediately a book appears in your hands. This volume contains not facts or formulas, but the distilled essence of curiosity itself, each page radiating the pure joy of discovery that drew you to learning in the first place. Reading becomes less about processing information and more about remembering what it feels like to be amazed, to have your understanding of the world expanded by each new concept or connection. The tower's sleeping magic ensures that every dream unfolds at exactly the pace your mind requires for perfect rest. There's no urgency here, no pressure to achieve or accomplish. Knowledge reveals itself through gentle exploration rather than determined study. You find yourself understanding complex magical theories not through memorization, but through direct experience, as if the concepts themselves have chosen to share their secrets with a mind that approaches them with proper reverence and wonder. As the dream deepens, you discover that you're not alone in this nocturnal realm of learning. Other dreamers move through the space like gentle spirits, each pursuing their own perfect curriculum of rest and discovery. A young student practices levitation charms that work through sheer delight rather than proper wand technique. An elderly scholar tends a garden of crystallized memories, each one containing a moment of perfect understanding from her decades of teaching. You encounter a dream version of every Ravenclaw student who has ever spent a night in the tower, all of them sharing the same expression of peaceful concentration. They nod to you as you pass, recognizing a fellow seeker even in sleep. Some are engaged in impossible projects that could only exist in dreams, building working models of the solar system from captured moonbeams, writing symphonies that translate the movement of the stars into audible music, crafting sculptures from solidified wisdom that change shape based on the observer's level of understanding. The dream library expands around you, its architecture shifting to accommodate new realms of knowledge as they're needed. You discover sections devoted to subjects that don't exist in the waking world. The poetry of mathematics, the music theory of growing plants, the comparative literature of different types of silence. Each area offers its own perfect environment for contemplation, from cozy reading nooks surrounded by floating candles to vast amphitheatres where the books themselves deliver lectures to audiences of dreaming minds. In one remarkable section, you find books that exist in conversation with each other, their contents shifting and responding as different volumes influence their neighbours. A treatise on ancient runes begins incorporating astronomical symbols as it sits next to a star chart, while a potions manual grows more philosophical as it absorbs influence from a nearby collection of meditative essays. The entire library becomes a living ecosystem of knowledge, each piece of information growing richer through contact with related ideas. The dream shows you the true purpose of the Ravenclaw Tower's magic, not just to facilitate learning, but to demonstrate that wisdom and wonder are inseparable companions. Every discovery in this realm of sleep comes wrapped in beauty. Every new understanding arrives accompanied by a sense of profound gratitude for the universe's infinite creativity. The tower's ancient stones don't just store knowledge, they transform it into something nourishing for the human spirit. You find yourself in a classroom where the lesson is simply how to be amazed, taught by a professor whose face shifts between that of every inspiring teacher you've ever encountered. The curriculum consists entirely of moments of perfect clarity, the instant when a difficult concept suddenly makes sense, the joy of discovering an unexpected connection between seemingly unrelated ideas, the satisfaction of asking exactly the right question at exactly the right moment. The dream lesson requires no notebooks or homework, only the willingness to remain open to surprise. You practice being delighted by small discoveries. The way candlelight creates different shadows depending on the angle of observation, how the sound of turning pages varies based on the age and thickness of the parchment, why some ideas seem to sparkle with their own inner light, while others require patient cultivation before they reveal their true beauty. As the night deepens, the dream begins to slow and simplify, the elaborate scenarios gradually giving way to pure sensation and emotion. You find yourself floating in a gentle sea of accumulated wisdom, supported by the combined love of learning that every Ravenclaw student has ever brought to the tower. The water is warm and perfectly buoyant, requiring no effort to stay afloat, allowing you to simply exist in perfect peace, while centuries of scholarly dedication cradle your sleeping mind. The dream sea sparkles with points of light that represent individual moments of understanding. A first-year student finally mastering the levitation charm, a seventh year completing a complex arithmancy proof, a graduate returning to visit the tower and rediscovering the wonder that first drew them to magic. Each light pulses gently, contributing to a constellation of learning that surrounds and supports you as you drift deeper into the most restorative sleep possible. Colors begin to fade from the dreamscape, not disappearing but transforming into something more essential, more connected to the pure experience of rest and renewal. The elaborate scenarios of the dream library and impossible gardens gradually dissolve into simple sensations. Warmth, safety, belonging. The profound peace that comes from being exactly where you need to be. Your sleeping mind releases its need to process or understand, instead simply accepting the tower's gift of perfect tranquility. The last coherent image from your dreams is of the tower itself, but seen from within your own peaceful heart. The circular common room exists there as a permanent sanctuary, a place you can return to whenever you need to remember that learning and wonder are not separate from rest, but essential components of the deepest peace. The bronze and blue colors of Ravenclaw House have become part of your inner landscape, representing not just house pride, but the eternal human desire to grow in wisdom and understanding. Your breathing deepens into the slowest, most peaceful rhythm. Each inhalation drawing in more of the tower's accumulated tranquility. Each exhalation releasing you further into the healing darkness of complete rest. The dreams continue but wordlessly now, consisting entirely of gentle sensations and emotions that restore your mind and spirit without requiring any conscious participation. You become a temporary vessel for the tower's ancient magic, allowing it to work through you in ways that will leave you refreshed and renewed when morning finally comes. The snow continues to fall outside the physical tower, where your body rests in the perfect chair, each flake adding to the crystalline beauty that transforms the castle grounds into something from the most beautiful fairy tale. But in the realm of dreams, you experience this snowfall as music, each flake creating a tiny chime as it touches the earth, the combined sound forming a lullaby that has been playing for centuries, soothing countless seekers into the most peaceful sleep. The Ravenclaw Tower's greatest magic reveals itself in these deepest hours of night. The ability to transform rest itself into a form of learning, to make sleep not an absence of consciousness, but a different kind of awareness, one that allows wisdom to settle into the very foundation of your being without effort or strain. Here, in the gentle darkness that cradles your dreaming mind, you learn the most important lesson of all, that peace and wisdom are not destinations to be reached, but states of being to be inhabited, not achievements to be earned, but gifts to be gratefully received. The night holds you gently in its ancient embrace, your consciousness suspended in that perfect space between dreams and deeper rest, where the tower's magic works its most profound transformation. Every breath draws you closer to complete renewal. Every heartbeat carries you deeper into the healing darkness where true restoration occurs. The wisdom of ages surrounds you like the softest blanket, and the accumulated love of every seeker who has ever found sanctuary in this circular room of learning wraps around your sleeping spirit like the most protective charm. In this perfect stillness, where time moves like honey and consciousness flows like a gentle stream, you rest as the tower intended you to rest, completely, peacefully, held safe by magic, older than memory, and gentler than morning light. The bronze eagle at the door keeps its eternal watch. The enchanted ceiling continues its slow, celestial dance, and the dying fire maintains its warm vigil, all working together to ensure that your sleep remains undisturbed by anything less than perfect tranquility. The tower has given you its greatest gift, not just knowledge or wisdom, but the deep understanding that true learning happens not through struggle, but through surrender, not through effort, but through trust, not through grasping, but through the gentle opening of a mind that knows it is held safe by something infinitely larger and more loving than itself. In this circular sanctuary of accumulated wisdom, you sleep the sleep of those who have found their way home to wonder itself, where every dream is a gift and every breath is a blessing, and every moment of rest prepares your spirit for tomorrow's gentle adventures in the endless, beautiful mystery of learning to live with an open heart in a magical world. The ancient magic of sleep reaches its deepest point now, as your consciousness settles into layers of rest so profound that they exist beyond the reach of ordinary dreams. Your body has found its perfect position in the velvet chair, every muscle releasing into complete relaxation, while your breathing matches the eternal rhythm of the castle's own slumber. The tower holds you in its circular embrace like a protective parent, ensuring that nothing disturbs the sacred process of restoration unfolding within your peaceful form. The enchanted ceiling above has shifted into its most mysterious configuration, showing constellations that exist only during the deepest hours of night. These stellar patterns seem to pulse with their own gentle heartbeat, each star a point of light that contributes to the vast web of cosmic energy flowing through the tower. The great spiral galaxy turns slowly overhead, its arms reaching across the artificial sky like the gentle fingers of some benevolent cosmic entity, blessing all who rest beneath its light. A profound stillness has settled over the common room, deeper than mere silence. This is the quiet that comes when ancient magic recognizes a soul in need of healing, when centuries of accumulated wisdom focus their combined power on the simple but essential task of providing perfect rest. The very atoms in the air seem to vibrate at a frequency designed to promote the deepest possible regeneration, each molecule carrying with it the essence of tranquility, distilled from 1,000 years of peaceful nights. Your teacup has transformed into something beyond ordinary porcelain, becoming a vessel that holds not just chamomile and magical herbs, but the liquid essence of serenity itself. The warmth that radiates from its surface penetrates directly to your core, spreading through your bloodstream like liquid starlight. Each sip you took earlier continues to work its gentle magic, the healing properties of ancient herbs combining with the tower's own enchantments to create a state of rest so complete it borders on the transcendent. Through the tall windows, the world outside has become a masterpiece painted in shades of silver and deepest blue. The frost has transformed every surface into something crystalline and magical, while the falling snow creates veils of white that drift and dance in patterns too complex for conscious minds to follow, but perfectly suited to the deeper awareness that emerges during profound rest. Each snowflake carries within it the geometric perfection of natural law, tiny six-pointed stars that demonstrate the mathematical beauty underlying all of creation. The fire in the marble hearth has reached its final configuration, the coals now arranged in patterns that seem to contain the very blueprints of peaceful sleep. Their glow has deepened to the color of sunset, seen through closed eyelids, warm and red gold, and infinitely comforting. The heat they generate no longer feels like simple temperature, but like the physical manifestation of contentment itself, radiating outward in waves that penetrate not just your body, but your soul. A gentle presence moves through the common room, invisible but unmistakably benevolent. Perhaps it's the spirit of Rowena Ravenclaw herself, making her nightly rounds to ensure that all who seek wisdom within her tower find the rest they need. This ethereal guardian adjusts the magical atmosphere with subtle touches, ensuring that the temperature remains perfect, that the light continues to dim at just the right pace, that every element of the environment contributes to your journey toward complete restoration. The grandfather clock's pendulum has slowed to match the rhythm of deep sleep, its brass weight catching fragments of firelight as it swings in arcs that seem to measure not time, but the depth of your rest. Each tick resonates through the tower's stones like a gentle heartbeat, a reminder that even in the deepest sleep, the rhythm of life continues, steady and reliable and infinitely reassuring. The clock face shows an hour that exists only in dreams, its hands pointing toward moments that have no names in waking language. Your breathing has synchronized with something far greater than yourself, connecting you to the vast respiratory system of the magical world itself. Each inhalation draws in the accumulated peace of every restful night that has ever blessed this tower, while each exhalation releases whatever fragments of stress or concern might still linger in the depths of your subconscious. The process happens without conscious effort, as natural and inevitable as the tide, as gentle and persistent as spring rain. The circular architecture of the common room reveals its deepest purpose now, creating a perfect mandala of rest that focuses the tower's healing energies directly upon your sleeping form. The curved walls seem to breathe with their own slow rhythm, expanding slightly with each of your inhalations, contracting gently as you exhale. The entire room has become a living meditation on the art of perfect rest, every angle and curve designed to promote the deepest possible regeneration of body, mind, and spirit. Above you, the enchanted ceiling begins to show phenomena that exist only during the most profound hours of night. Aurora-like curtains of light drift across the artificial sky, painted in colors that have no names in any earthly language. These celestial displays seem to respond to your state of rest, their movements becoming more gentle and flowing as your consciousness descends deeper into sleep's embrace. The lights pulse with the same rhythm as your heartbeat, creating a visual lullaby that guides your mind toward ever more peaceful states. The books throughout the common room have settled into their own form of slumber, their leather bindings relaxing as the knowledge within their pages finds new arrangements during the quiet hours. You sense, rather than see, the gentle movement of information reorganizing itself, concepts finding new connections, wisdom growing deeper through the mysterious processes that occur when minds and books rest together in perfect harmony. The accumulated learning of centuries seems to whisper soft encouragement, promising that rest itself is a form of wisdom. A warmth beyond temperature suffuses your entire being, starting from the center of your chest and radiating outward until every cell in your body glows with gentle contentment. This is the tower's deepest gift, the complete integration of your essence with its ancient magic, the transformation from visitor to beloved resident of this sanctuary of learning and dreams. Your physical form feels lighter with each breath, as if you're gradually becoming more spirit than matter, more dream than flesh. The astrolabe on the nearby table completes its final calculation of the night, its brass mechanism settling into a configuration that perfectly maps your current state of consciousness. The device seems to glow with inner satisfaction, having successfully navigated the complex mathematics of magical rest and found the precise coordinates where perfect sleep intersects with profound healing. Its gentle radiance adds another layer to the room's symphony of soft lights. Through the windows, the mist over the black lake has thickened into something almost solid, creating a landscape that exists somewhere between the physical world and the realm of dreams. Shapes move within the vapor with purpose and grace, perhaps the spirits of ancient knowledge taking their nightly constitutional, or maybe simply the natural magic of the place expressing itself in forms too beautiful for ordinary perception. The sight fills you with a deep sense of belonging to something magnificent and eternal. The bronze fixtures throughout the room pulse gently with their own inner light, as if the metal itself has absorbed centuries of magical education and now glows with accumulated wisdom. The door's eagle knocker appears to smile in its sleep, its bronze features softened by the deep contentment that fills every corner of the common room. Even the coat of arms woven into the tapestry seems to rest peacefully, the proud raven folding its wings in gestures of complete trust and safety. Your chair has achieved perfect symbiosis with your resting form, the velvet fabric now feeling less like upholstery than like an extension of your own skin. The bronze threading conducts not just warmth but something more essential, perhaps the very essence of scholarly satisfaction that has accumulated in this spot over the centuries. You sink deeper into this embrace, feeling your consciousness merge with the chair's accumulated memories of all the students who have found peace in its gentle hold. A soft chiming fills the air, not from any visible source but from the tower's stones themselves, as if the ancient masonry is singing a lullaby in frequencies too low for conscious hearing, but perfectly pitched for the deepest layers of sleep. The sound seems to emanate from within your own bones, a reminder that you have become part of the tower's living structure, a temporary but beloved addition to its centuries of accumulated wisdom and peace. The remaining coals in the fireplace arrange themselves into their final pattern of the night, a mandala of glowing warmth that seems to contain the compressed essence of every peaceful evening that has ever blessed this common room. Their light has deepened to the color of liquid amber, casting everything in a golden glow that makes the circular space feel like the interior of some magnificent celestial sphere designed specifically for the cultivation of perfect rest. Above you, the enchanted ceiling reveals its ultimate secret. Behind the moving constellations and drifting clouds lies something even more beautiful, a vast presence of pure benevolence that watches over all who seek wisdom and rest within the tower's walls. This cosmic consciousness seems to recognize you as one of its own, a seeker worthy of the deepest peace and most restorative sleep. Its approval settles over you like the softest blessing. Your eyelids have become so heavy that they seem to contain the accumulated weight of every peaceful night that has ever graced the magical world. Keeping them open is no longer just unnecessary, but impossible, and you surrender completely to the gentle darkness that promises not emptiness, but fullness, not absence, but presence, not void, but the rich potential of dreams yet to be born. The darkness behind your closed eyes sparkles with tiny points of light, each one a promise of the beautiful visions that await. The tower's magic reaches its crescendo now, every enchantment working in perfect harmony to ensure that your rest achieves the deepest possible level of restoration. The ancient stones hum with contentment, the bronze fixtures glow with satisfaction, and the very air itself seems to vibrate with the joy that comes from fulfilling one's highest purpose. The Ravenclaw Tower has successfully transformed another seeker into a vessel for perfect peace. A final gentle breeze moves through the common room, carrying with it the essence of everything beautiful about the magical world. The wonder of discovery, the satisfaction of understanding, the deep peace that comes from being exactly where you belong. This ethereal wind seems to lift away any remaining traces of the day's concerns, leaving your mind as clear and peaceful as mountain air after rain, as ready for rest as fertile soil, prepared for the gentlest seeds of healing dreams. The grandfather clock's final chime of the deepest night resonates through your bones like a gentle bell, calling you home to yourself. The sound seems to originate not from the brass mechanism, but from the very heart of the magical world. A cosmic timepiece that measures not hours and minutes, but the eternal rhythms of rest and renewal that govern all living things. Each resonant note carries you deeper into the healing embrace of perfect sleep. Your breathing slows to match the profound rhythms of the earth itself, each inhalation drawing in the concentrated peace of centuries, each exhalation releasing you further into the gentle darkness where true restoration occurs. The process requires no effort or attention, flowing as naturally as water finding its level, as inevitable as night following day, as gentle as love itself expressing its deepest care for a soul in need of healing. The Ravenclaw Tower completes its ancient ritual of transformation, having successfully converted another wandering spirit into a temporary guardian of its accumulated wisdom. Here, in this circular sanctuary suspended between knowledge and dreams, between learning and rest, between the earthly pursuit of understanding and the celestial gift of perfect peace, you have found what every seeker ultimately desires. A place where being is more important than doing, where rest is recognized as sacred, where sleep becomes a form of prayer offered to the benevolent forces that govern the magical world. The snow continues to fall outside the windows, each flake a tiny blessing drifting down from the star-filled heavens, while inside the tower, wrapped in centuries of accumulated learning and bathed in the gentle glow of magical flames and celestial light, you sleep the sleep of those who have discovered wisdom's greatest secret, that true knowledge comes not through struggle, but through surrender, not through grasping, but through opening, not through effort, but through the gentle trust that allows the universe's deepest teachings to settle into a mind finally quiet enough to receive them. In this perfect stillness, where time moves like honey and consciousness flows like a gentle stream toward the sea of dreams, you rest as countless seekers have rested before you, held safe by magic older than memory and gentler than morning light. The tower keeps its eternal vigil, ensuring that your sleep remains undisturbed by anything less than the most beautiful visions protecting your journey into the healing darkness where souls go to remember their connection to the infinite mystery that underlies all learning, all wisdom, all love. The bronze eagle at the door maintains its watch with eyes that have seen 1,000 years of students find peace within these walls, while the enchanted ceiling continues its slow celestial dance above your resting form. The dying fire whispers its ancient promises of warmth and safety, and the accumulated love of every teacher and student who has ever called this tower home wraps around your sleeping spirit like the most protective charm ever woven. Here, in the gentle darkness that cradles your dreaming mind, you discover the deepest truth of the Ravenclaw Tower, that it exists not just to house books and facilitate study, but to provide sanctuary for souls who understand that wisdom and wonder are inseparable, that learning and love are one, that the highest form of knowledge is simply the ability to rest peacefully in the beautiful mystery of existence, trusting that the universe itself is the greatest teacher of all, and that its lessons come most clearly to minds that know how to be still, how to listen, how to receive the gentle gifts that fall like snow from the infinite generosity of the magical world's loving heart. The tower's deepest magic now reveals its final layer as your consciousness drifts into the most profound realm of rest. Your body has become weightless in the velvet chair, every fiber relaxed beyond ordinary sleep into something approaching pure spirit. The common room around you pulses with gentle energy, each stone and timber breathing in harmony with your own peaceful rhythm, creating a living sanctuary that exists solely to nurture your journey toward complete restoration. Above, the enchanted ceiling has transformed into something beyond mere illusion of the night sky. Stars now move in patterns that respond directly to your state of rest, swirling in spirals that mirror the gentle eddies of your slowing thoughts. Galaxies wheel overhead like cosmic prayers, their light carrying messages of peace from distant suns that have watched over sleeping scholars for eons. The very fabric of magical space seems to bend around your resting form, creating a pocket of perfect tranquility that exists outside ordinary time. The warmth from your teacup has long since merged with your body's own heat, creating a circulation of comfort that flows through your veins like liquid starlight. Each breath carries deeper notes of chamomile and moonflower, but now these scents seem to emanate from within rather than without, as if your very essence has absorbed the healing properties of every herb that ever grew in soil blessed by magical learning. The porcelain cup itself has become translucent, glowing with inner light that pulses in time with your heartbeat. Through the windows, the world has transformed into something from the most beautiful dream ever painted. The falling snow no longer appears to fall, but to rise, each flake ascending toward the star-filled sky like tiny prayers of gratitude made visible. The castle grounds below shimmer with crystalline perfection, every surface reflecting light that seems to come from within the earth itself, rather than from any external source. Even the forbidden forest glows with gentle bioluminescence, its ancient trees pulsing with the slow heartbeat of growing things at rest. The fire in the marble hearth has evolved beyond combustion into something approaching pure energy. The coals no longer burn but radiate warmth through principles that transcend ordinary physics, their arrangement forming geometric patterns that would take mathematicians' lifetimes to fully comprehend. These sacred geometries pulse with significance that bypasses conscious understanding, speaking directly to the part of your mind that recognizes beauty as a form of truth, harmony as a type of knowledge. Your breathing has synchronized with rhythms so ancient they predate the castle itself, connecting you to the breathing of mountains, the slow exhalation of continents, the vast respiratory cycle of the planet's magical core. Each inhalation draws in not just air, but the accumulated wisdom of every peaceful moment that has ever blessed this tower. Each exhalation releases not just carbon dioxide, but whatever small shadows of concern might still linger in your subconscious depths. The grandfather clock's pendulum now swings through dimensions beyond the merely temporal, its brass weight tracing arcs through space-time that somehow measure the depth of your rest rather than its duration. The clock face shows symbols instead of numbers, ancient runes that spell out concepts like profound healing and soul restoration in languages that predate human speech. Each tick resonates through the tower's stones like a tuning fork struck in the cosmic frequency of perfect peace. A presence moves through the common room, not visible but unmistakably benevolent, adjusting the magical atmosphere with touches so subtle they might be imagined. Perhaps it is the accumulated consciousness of every student who ever found sanctuary here, their combined gratitude taking ethereal form to ensure that future seekers receive the same gift of perfect rest. This guardian spirit whispers adjustments to temperature, light, and magical pressure with the skill of centuries of practice. The circular bookshelf has become something beyond furniture, transforming into a living mandala of accumulated knowledge that breathes with its own slow rhythm. The volumes within glow faintly from their pages, their leather bindings soft with the patina of countless gentle hands. You sense that the books themselves are dreaming, their contents shifting and reorganizing during these quiet hours, finding new connections and deeper meanings that will surprise tomorrow's readers with fresh insights. Your chair has achieved perfect unity with your form, the velvet fabric now feeling indistinguishable from your own skin, while the bronze threading conducts currents of contentment that flow through your nervous system like liquid meditation. The chair remembers every student who has ever rested here, and through some mysterious process of magical osmosis, their accumulated peace becomes yours. Their successful journeys toward restoration, lighting the path for your own healing sleep. The astrolabe on the nearby table completes calculations that map not celestial bodies but states of consciousness, its brass rings rotating to chart your descent through layers of increasingly profound rest. The device glows with satisfaction as it tracks your progress toward the deepest possible regeneration, its mechanical precision somehow expressing joy at fulfilling its purpose of guiding souls toward perfect peace. Each adjustment of its rings sends gentle chimes through the air that harmonize with your slowing heartbeat. Through the tall windows, the black lake has become a mirror that reflects not the sky above, but the depths of peaceful sleep itself. Its surface shows visions of other dreamers throughout the magical world, all connected by invisible threads of shared tranquility. You glimpse students sleeping peacefully in distant towers, scholars resting in libraries across continents, all part of a vast network of learning minds that find restoration in the same gentle darkness that now cradles your own consciousness. The mist over the lake has thickened into something approaching solid comfort, forming landscapes of vapor that exist solely to demonstrate the beauty possible when matter and spirit work in perfect harmony. These ethereal formations pulse with their own inner light, creating aurora-like displays that paint the night in colors that exist only during the deepest hours of magical rest. Each swirl of mist seems choreographed by consciousness itself, dancing to music that only sleeping minds can hear. Above you, the enchanted ceiling reveals its ultimate secret as constellations rearrange themselves into patterns that spell out your name in starlight, welcoming you personally into the cosmic community of seekers who have found their way to perfect rest. The stellar arrangements shift slowly, writing messages of encouragement and blessing in languages of light that speak directly to your dreaming spirit. The entire universe seems to pause in recognition of your successful journey toward complete tranquility. A gentle resonance fills the tower now. Not quite sound, but something deeper, as if the very stones are singing lullabies in frequencies that bypass the ears and speak directly to the soul. This architectural symphony harmonizes with your breathing, your heartbeat, the gentle movement of blood through your veins, creating a perfect chord of peace that encompasses your entire being. The tower itself has become a living instrument played by the skilled hands of ancient magic. The bronze fixtures throughout the room pulse with their own inner light, each one a node in a vast network of accumulated wisdom that spans centuries. The door's eagle knocker appears to smile in its metallic sleep, its features softened by the deep contentment that radiates from every corner of the common room. Even the coat of arms woven into the tapestries glows gently, the proud raven folding its wings in gestures of complete trust and protection. Your consciousness begins its final descent into the deepest layers of restorative sleep, each level bringing new gifts of healing and renewal. The rational mind that spent the day processing information and solving problems dissolves peacefully, making room for older forms of knowing that work through intuition and dreams. Memory reorganizes itself during this sacred time, filing away the day's experiences while strengthening the neural pathways that encode wisdom and understanding. The temperature in the room adjusts itself to match your body's changing needs as sleep deepens, the magical atmosphere responding to subtle cues from your nervous system. Warmth flows where tension might gather. Coolness appears wherever healing is needed most. The tower's ancient enchantments work like the most skilled healer, addressing imbalances before they can manifest as discomfort, ensuring that your rest remains undisturbed by anything less than perfect physical harmony. A soft luminescence begins to emanate from your own form now, as if the tower's accumulated magic has finally found its perfect vessel. This gentle radiance spreads outward from your chest, painting the velvet chair and surrounding area in the soft glow that comes when souls achieve perfect alignment with their environment. You have become temporarily integrated with the tower's essential nature, your individual consciousness merging with its collective wisdom. The remaining coals in the fireplace arrange themselves into their final configuration of the night, forming patterns that would take scholars lifetimes to decode, but which speak immediately to the dreaming mind. These glowing mandalas pulse with significance that transcends language, communicating directly with the part of consciousness that recognizes sacred geometry as the universe's way of expressing love through mathematics. Their light has become the color of liquid amber mixed with crushed pearls. Through the windows, you can see that snow continues to fall, but now each flake appears to be made of crystallized starlight rather than ordinary ice. These luminous particles drift upward as often as down, defying gravity in favor of more beautiful laws that govern the realm where dreams and reality intersect. The entire landscape has become a living meditation on the principle that matter and spirit are simply different expressions of the same fundamental peace. Your breathing has slowed to match the vast respiratory rhythm of the magical world itself, each inhalation drawing in centuries of accumulated tranquility, each exhalation releasing you further into the healing embrace of perfect rest. The process happens without effort or attention, as natural as water finding its level, as inevitable as love expressing itself through care for souls in need of restoration. You have become a temporary vessel for the tower's most profound magic. The grandfather clock's final chime of the deepest night resonates through dimensions beyond the merely audible, creating harmonics that align your chakras and balance your magical energies with surgical precision. The sound seems to originate from the heart of the earth itself. a planetary timepiece that measures not minutes, but the eternal rhythms of renewal that govern all living things. Each resonant note carries you deeper into the sacred darkness where true healing occurs. Above you, the enchanted ceiling begins to show phenomena that exist only when consciousness approaches its most profound states of rest. Streams of liquid light flow between the stars like cosmic rivers, carrying messages of peace from distant galaxies where other forms of consciousness with the same perfect have learned to sleep trust you now demonstrate. These celestial waterways pulse with colors that have no earthly names, painting the artificial sky in hues that exist only in the deepest dreams. The circular architecture of the common room reveals its ultimate purpose as your consciousness settles into its final configuration for the night. Every curve and angle has been designed to create perfect resonance with sleeping minds, focusing the tower's healing energies into a concentrated beam of restoration that penetrates every layer of your being. The room itself has become a living mandala of peace, its geometry expressing mathematical principles that govern the relationship between learning and rest. A profound stillness settles over everything now, deeper than mere absence of sound. This is the quiet that emerges when ancient magic recognizes a soul that has successfully navigated the journey from seeking to finding, from questioning to trusting, from effort to surrender. The very atoms in the air seem to vibrate at frequencies calibrated specifically for your healing, each molecule carrying within it the essence of tranquility distilled from 1,000 years of peaceful nights. Your physical form has become so relaxed it seems to merge with the chair, the distinction between body and furniture dissolving into something more fundamental. You are held not by velvet and bronze, but by the accumulated love of every teacher and student who has ever recognized this tower as sanctuary. Their combined care surrounds you like the most protective charm ever woven, ensuring that your rest remains undisturbed by anything less than perfect healing. The books throughout the common room settle into their own form of profound rest, their pages finally still after a day of eager turning. The knowledge within these volumes finds new arrangements during the quiet hours, concepts connecting across disciplines, wisdom deepening through mysterious processes that occur when information and consciousness rest together in perfect harmony. You sense the gentle movement of understanding reorganizing itself, preparing surprises for tomorrow's readers. Through the windows, the view has transformed into something beyond ordinary beauty. The castle grounds glow with inner light, every stone and blade of grass radiating the accumulated magic of centuries. The forbidden forest pulses with bioluminescence that reveals the hidden network of magical energy flowing beneath the earth like luminous veins. Even the distant mountains seem to breathe with their own slow rhythm, participating in the vast meditation that encompasses the entire magical world during its deepest rest. The astrolabe completes its final calculation, mapping your successful arrival at the coordinates where perfect sleep intersects with profound healing. The device pulses with satisfaction, its brass mechanisms settling into configurations that will hold throughout the night, maintaining the precise magical conditions necessary for complete restoration. Its gentle radiance adds another voice to the symphony of soft lights that transform the common room into a sanctuary of accumulated peace. A warmth beyond temperature suffuses your entire being, starting from the quantum level and expanding outward until every cell glows with contentment. This is the tower's deepest gift, the complete integration of your essence with its ancient wisdom, the temporary but profound merger that transforms visitors into beloved residents of this circular sanctuary. Your individual consciousness has become part of something infinitely larger and more loving than yourself. The bronze eagle at the door keeps its eternal watch with eyes that have witnessed centuries of successful journeys toward perfect rest. Its metallic features have softened with accumulated compassion, recognizing in you another seeker who has found what every soul ultimately desires. A place where being is more important than doing, where rest is recognized as sacred, where sleep becomes a form of communion with the benevolent forces that govern the magical world's loving heart. Above you, the enchanted ceiling shows its final revelation as the artificial sky transforms into a window that looks directly into the source of all magical learning. Beyond the moving constellations and drifting clouds lies something even more beautiful: the vast consciousness that dreamed the magical world into existence. The cosmic intelligence that delights in souls who seek wisdom with open hearts. This ultimate presence recognizes you as one of its own, blessing your rest with approval that resonates through every layer of reality. Your eyelids have become so heavy they seem to contain the accumulated weight of every peaceful night that has ever graced the Ravenclaw Tower. The gentle darkness behind your closed eyes sparkles with infinite potential, each point of light a promise of the beautiful dreams that await. This is not empty darkness, but pregnant void, rich with possibility, full of the healing visions that come only to minds finally quiet enough to receive the universe's deepest teachings. The tower's magic reaches its crescendo now, every enchantment working in perfect harmony to ensure that your rest achieves the deepest possible level of regeneration. Ancient spells woven into the very stones hum with contentment. Bronze fixtures glow with satisfaction, and the air itself vibrates with joy at fulfilling its highest purpose. The Ravenclaw Tower has successfully transformed another wandering spirit into a vessel for perfect peace. A final gentle breeze moves through the common room, carrying with it the essence of everything beautiful about the pursuit of wisdom, the wonder of discovery, the satisfaction of understanding, the profound peace that comes from recognizing your place in the vast web of learning that connects all conscious beings. This ethereal wind lifts away any remaining traces of the day's concerns, leaving your mind as clear and receptive as polished crystal. Here, in this circular sanctuary suspended between earth and sky, between knowledge and dreams, between the individual pursuit of understanding and the universal gift of perfect rest, you have found what every seeker ultimately discovers: that wisdom and peace are not separate destinations, but different expressions of the same fundamental truth. The accumulated love of centuries surrounds you like the most protective embrace, ensuring that your journey through the healing darkness will be guided by nothing less than perfect benevolence. The snow continues its eternal dance outside the windows, each flake a tiny prayer of gratitude made visible, while inside the tower, wrapped in the gentle glow of magical flames and starlight, you rest as countless souls have rested before you. The bronze and blue colours of Ravenclaw House have become part of your inner landscape, representing not just academic achievement, but the deeper understanding that true knowledge comes through surrender rather than struggle, through opening rather than grasping, through the gentle trust that allows the universe's most profound lessons to settle into minds finally quiet enough to receive them. In this perfect stillness, where consciousness flows like honey toward the sea of dreams, you sleep the sleep of those who have discovered that learning and love are one, that wisdom and wonder are inseparable, that the highest form of knowledge is simply the ability to rest peacefully in the beautiful mystery of existence. The Ravenclaw Tower keeps its ancient vigil, protecting your journey into the sacred darkness where souls go to remember their connection to the infinite source of all understanding, all compassion, all the gentle magic that makes life worth living. The grandfather clock's pendulum slows to match the cosmic heartbeat that underlies all existence, while the enchanted ceiling continues its eternal dance above your resting form. The dying fire whispers promises of warmth that will last until dawn, and the accumulated wisdom of every brilliant mind that has ever sought sanctuary within these walls wraps around your sleeping spirit like starlight made tangible, ensuring that your dreams will be filled with all the wonder and possibility that first drew you to this magical world of endless learning and infinite love. The ancient magic of the tower reaches its final crescendo as your consciousness dissolves completely into the realm of perfect rest. Your breathing has become so gentle, it barely stirs the air, each exhale carrying away the last wisps of waking thought, while each inhalation draws in the purest essence of accumulated tranquility. The velvet chair cradles your form with the tenderness of centuries, its fabric now indistinguishable from the softest cloud, supporting your journey into the deepest healing sleep imaginable. Through the tall windows, the first hints of approaching dawn begin to paint the eastern horizon in shades of pearl and rose. But these colors seem to exist in a different dimension entirely from your current state of profound rest. Time has lost all meaning within the tower's embrace, minutes and hours dissolving into the eternal now of perfect peace. The snow continues its gentle dance, each flake catching the subtle light and transforming it into tiny prisms that scatter rainbow fragments across the frost-covered grounds below. The enchanted ceiling above has evolved into something beyond mere illusion, becoming a living mandala of cosmic consciousness that responds to the deepest rhythms of your sleeping mind. Constellations shift and flow in patterns that would take astronomers lifetimes to chart, but which speak immediately to the part of your awareness that understands the language of dreams. Galaxies spiral overhead like vast prayers written in light, their ancient photons carrying messages of peace from the farthest reaches of space and time. Your teacup has long since emptied itself, but the warmth that flowed from it continues to circulate through your being like liquid starlight made manifest. The chamomile and magical herbs have done their work so completely that their essence now flows through your bloodstream, carrying healing properties directly to every cell in your body. The porcelain vessel itself glows with accumulated contentment, having fulfilled its purpose of guiding another seeker toward the sanctuary of perfect rest. The fire in the marble hearth has burned down to its most essential form, the coals now arranged in geometric patterns that mirror the sacred mathematics underlying all magical healing. Their glow has deepened to the color of liquid amber mixed with ground pearls, radiating warmth that penetrates beyond the merely physical into the realm of soul restoration. Each ember pulses with its own gentle heartbeat, contributing to the symphony of peace that fills every corner of the circular common room. A profound transformation occurs now as the boundary between your individual consciousness and the tower's accumulated wisdom begins to dissolve entirely. You become temporarily integrated with centuries of scholarly devotion, your sleeping mind merging with the collective understanding of every student who has ever sought knowledge within these walls. The experience transcends ordinary dreams, becoming something closer to communion with the essential spirit of learning itself. The grandfather clock's pendulum traces arcs through dimensions beyond the merely temporal, its brass weight moving through space-time in patterns that measure not minutes, but the depth of spiritual renewal occurring within your resting form. The clock face shows symbols that shift and change like living runes, spelling out concepts such as perfect healing and soul restoration in languages that predate human speech, but which your dreaming mind understands perfectly. Through the windows, the castle grounds have transformed into a landscape of pure magic, every surface reflecting light that seems to emanate from within the earth itself, rather than from any external source. The Black Lake mirrors not the sky above, but the depths of peaceful consciousness, its surface showing glimpses of other dreamers across the magical world, all connected by invisible threads of shared tranquility. The Forbidden Forest glows with gentle bioluminescence, its ancient trees pulsing with the slow heartbeat of growing things in perfect rest. Your chair has achieved complete unity with your form, the distinction between furniture and flesh dissolving into something more fundamental. You are held not by velvet and bronze, but by the accumulated love of every teacher and student who has ever recognized this tower as sanctuary. Their combined devotion surrounds you like the most protective enchantment ever woven, ensuring that your journey through the healing darkness remains undisturbed by anything less than perfect benevolence. The circular bookshelf breathes with its own slow rhythm, the volumes within glowing faintly as their contents reorganize during the quiet hours. Knowledge finds new connections across disciplines. Wisdom deepens through mysterious processes that occur when information and consciousness rest together in perfect harmony. You sense the gentle movement of understanding reshaping itself, preparing revelations that will surprise tomorrow's seekers with fresh insights and deeper comprehension. Above you, the enchanted ceiling reveals phenomena that exist only during the most profound states of magical rest. Streams of liquid light flow between the stars like cosmic rivers, carrying messages of peace from distant realms, where other forms of consciousness have learned the same perfect trust you now demonstrate. These celestial waterways pulse with colors that have no earthly names, painting the artificial sky in hues that exist only in the deepest dreams of sleeping scholars. The astrolabe on the nearby table completes its final calculation of the night, its brass mechanisms settling into a configuration that maps your successful arrival at the coordinates where perfect sleep intersects with complete spiritual renewal. The device glows with quiet satisfaction, having fulfilled its ancient purpose of guiding souls toward the restoration they seek. Its gentle radiance harmonizes with the soft lights throughout the room, creating a symphony of luminescence that celebrates your journey's successful completion. A warmth beyond all physical temperature suffuses your entire being, starting from the quantum level and expanding outward until every particle of your existence glows with contentment. This is the tower's ultimate gift, the complete integration of your essence with its ancient magic, the temporary but profound merger that transforms visitors into beloved residents of this circular sanctuary. Your individual awareness has become part of something infinitely larger and more loving than yourself. The bronze fixtures throughout the room pulse with accumulated wisdom, each one a node in a vast network of magical learning that spans centuries. The door's eagle knocker appears to smile in its metallic slumber, its features softened by the deep satisfaction that radiates from every stone and timber. Even the heraldic designs woven into the tapestries glow gently, their proud symbols folding into gestures of complete trust and protection. Through the tall windows, the first birds of dawn begin their tentative songs, but their melodies seem to come from a different world entirely, unable to penetrate the perfect bubble of tranquility that surrounds your resting form. The tower exists in its own temporal dimension during these sacred hours, a pocket of eternity where healing occurs at its own perfect pace, undisturbed by the ordinary rhythms of day and night. Your breathing has synchronized with the vast respiratory cycle of the magical world itself, each inhalation drawing in the accumulated peace of millennia. each exhalation releasing you further into the healing embrace of absolute rest. The process happens without effort or attention, as natural as water finding its level, as inevitable as love expressing itself through care for souls in need of restoration. You have become a temporary vessel for the tower's most profound enchantments. The remaining coals in the fireplace form patterns that would require lifetimes to fully comprehend, but which speak immediately to your dreaming consciousness. These glowing mandalas pulse with significance that transcends language, communicating directly with the part of awareness that recognizes sacred geometry as the universe's way of expressing compassion through mathematics. Their light has become the color of sunset, seen through closed eyelids, warm and golden and infinitely comforting. A gentle presence moves through the common room, invisible but unmistakably benevolent, making final adjustments to ensure that your rest achieves the deepest possible level of regeneration. Perhaps it is the accumulated consciousness of every scholar who ever found peace here, their combined gratitude taking ethereal form to bless future seekers. This guardian spirit whispers modifications to temperature and magical pressure with the expertise of centuries of practice. The mist over the Black Lake has thickened into something approaching solid comfort, forming landscapes of vapor that exist solely to demonstrate the beauty possible when matter and spirit work in perfect harmony. These ethereal formations create aurora-like displays that paint the pre-dawn sky in colors visible only during the most profound hours of magical rest. Each swirl moves with choreographed precision, dancing to music that only sleeping minds can perceive. Above you, the enchanted ceiling shows its ultimate revelation as constellations rearrange themselves into patterns that welcome you personally into the cosmic community of seekers who have found their way to perfect rest. The stellar arrangements shift slowly, writing messages of encouragement in languages of light that speak directly to your dreaming spirit. The entire universe seems to pause in recognition of your successful journey toward complete tranquility. Your consciousness begins its final descent into the deepest layers of restorative sleep, each level bringing new gifts of healing and renewal. The analytical mind that spent the day processing information dissolves peacefully, making room for older forms of knowing that work through intuition and dreams. Memory reorganizes itself during this sacred time, strengthening the neural pathways that encode wisdom while releasing whatever no longer serves your highest good. The temperature throughout the room adjusts itself with supernatural precision, responding to subtle cues from your nervous system as sleep deepens. Warmth flows wherever tension might gather. Coolness appears wherever healing is needed most. The tower's ancient enchantments work like the most skilled healer, addressing imbalances before they can manifest as discomfort, ensuring that your rest remains a perfect sanctuary of restoration. A soft luminescence begins to emanate from your own form now, as if the tower's accumulated magic has finally found its ideal vessel. This gentle radiance spreads outward from your heart, painting the velvet chair and surrounding area in the soft glow that appears when souls achieve perfect alignment with their environment. You have become temporarily integrated with the tower's essential nature, your individual consciousness merging with its collective wisdom in the most beautiful way possible. The grandfather clock's final chime of the deepest night resonates through dimensions beyond the merely audible, creating harmonics that balance your magical energies with surgical precision. The sound seems to originate from the heart of the Earth itself, a planetary timepiece that measures not minutes but the eternal rhythms of renewal that govern all living things. Each resonant note carries you deeper into the sacred darkness, where true healing occurs at its own perfect pace. Through the windows, you can see that snow continues its eternal dance, but now Each flake appears to be made of crystallized starlight rather than ordinary ice. These luminous particles drift in patterns that defy gravity, following more beautiful laws that govern the realm where dreams and reality intersect. The entire landscape has become a living meditation on the principle that matter and spirit are simply different expressions of the same fundamental piece. The circular architecture of the common room reveals its ultimate purpose as your consciousness settles into its final configuration for the night. Every curve and angle has been designed to create perfect resonance with sleeping minds, focusing the tower's healing energies into a concentrated beam of restoration that penetrates every layer of your being. The room itself has become a living mandala of tranquility, its geometry expressing mathematical principles that govern the sacred relationship between learning and rest. A profound stillness settles over everything now, deeper than mere absence of sound. This is the quiet that emerges when ancient magic recognizes a soul that has successfully navigated the journey from seeking to finding, from questioning to trusting, from effort to surrender. The very atoms in the air vibrate at frequencies calibrated specifically for your healing, each molecule carrying within it the essence of serenity distilled from 1,000 years of peaceful nights. Your physical form has become so relaxed, it seems to merge with the chair, the distinction between body and furniture dissolving into something more fundamental. You are held not by fabric and metal, but by the accumulated devotion of every individual who has ever recognized this tower as sanctuary. Their combined care surrounds you like the most protective charm ever woven, ensuring that your rest remains undisturbed by anything less than perfect healing energy. The books throughout the common room settle into their own form of profound rest, their pages finally still after a day of eager turning. The knowledge within these volumes finds new arrangements during the quiet hours, concepts connecting across disciplines in ways that will surprise tomorrow's readers. You sense the gentle movement of understanding, reorganizing itself, wisdom deepening through processes that occur only when information and consciousness rest together in perfect harmony. Through the tall windows, the view has transformed into something beyond ordinary beauty. The castle grounds glow with accumulated magic, every stone radiating the enchantments of centuries. The distant mountains seem to breathe with their own slow rhythm, participating in the vast meditation that encompasses the entire magical world during its deepest rest. Even the air itself sparkles with tiny points of light, as if the very atmosphere celebrates your successful journey toward complete tranquility. The astrolabe completes its purpose, mapping your arrival at the precise coordinates where perfect sleep intersects with profound spiritual renewal. The device pulses with quiet satisfaction, its brass mechanisms maintaining the exact magical conditions necessary for complete restoration throughout the remaining hours of night. Its gentle radiance harmonizes with all the other soft lights, creating an environment calibrated perfectly for the deepest possible healing. Above you, the enchanted ceiling shows phenomena that exist only when consciousness approaches its most profound states of rest. Rivers of liquid light flow between the stars, carrying messages from distant galaxies where other forms of awareness have learned the same perfect trust you now demonstrate. These celestial streams pulse with colors that transcend earthly spectrums, painting the artificial sky in hues that exist only in the deepest dreams of sleeping scholars. Your breathing has slowed to match the vast respiratory rhythm of the magical world itself, each inhalation drawing in centuries of accumulated wisdom, each exhalation releasing you further into the healing embrace of absolute rest. The process happens without effort, as natural as water finding its level. as inevitable as love expressing itself through care for souls in need of restoration. You have become a temporary vessel for the tower's most profound magic, a living example of what happens when seeking minds find their perfect sanctuary. The bronze eagle at the door keeps its eternal watch with eyes that have witnessed countless journeys toward perfect rest. Its metallic features have softened with accumulated compassion, recognizing in you another seeker who has discovered what every soul ultimately desires. This guardian's presence ensures that your sleep remains protected by forces older than memory and gentler than morning light, guaranteeing that only the most beautiful dreams will visit your resting mind. Here, in this circular sanctuary suspended between knowledge and dreams, between individual pursuit and universal gift, you have found what every seeker eventually discovers. The accumulated love of centuries surrounds you like the most protective embrace, while the gentle magic of learning transformed into rest guides your consciousness through the healing darkness toward the dawn of renewed understanding. The Ravenclaw Tower has completed its ancient ritual, transforming another wandering spirit into a vessel for perfect peace, ensuring that your journey through sleep will be blessed by all the wisdom and wonder that first drew you to this magical world of endless possibility and infinite love. And so, my dear seeker of wisdom, as the first gentle rays of dawn begin to touch the tower's ancient stones, and your breathing settles into the deepest rhythm of restorative sleep, the Ravenclaw Tower has worked its most profound magic upon your weary spirit. Here, wrapped in centuries of accumulated learning and cradled by the bronze and blue embrace of scholarly devotion, you have discovered what every student of magic ultimately seeks. Not just knowledge, but the perfect peace that comes from surrendering to wisdom's gentle current. The enchanted ceiling above continues its eternal dance. The grandfather clock maintains its loving vigil, and the dying embers whisper their ancient promises of warmth and safety. Every breath draws you deeper into the healing darkness, where the most beautiful dreams await, where understanding blooms like flowers in a garden tended by magic itself. The tower's gift will remain with you long after you wake, that deeper appreciation for the sacred relationship between learning and rest, between curiosity and contentment, between the pursuit of knowledge and the gentle art of simply being. Sleep well, dear friend. Let the accumulated wisdom of ages surround you like the softest blanket, and may your dreams be filled with all the wonder and possibility that makes this magical world feel like home. The Ravenclaw Tower will keep its eternal watch over your peaceful slumber, ensuring that you wake refreshed and renewed, carrying within your heart a piece of this circular sanctuary where wisdom and tranquility dance together in perfect harmony. Sweet dreams, and thank you for joining me on this gentle journey to the place where knowledge becomes peace, and peace becomes the deepest magic of all.